Hello everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome and thanks for joining me today. We have some really cute cards to make today with another one of my favorite stamp sets out of the annual catalog. So I'm just going to make sure we're live in the right spot and that you can hear me. And it looks like, yep, I'm in the right spot and you can hear me. Great. We're off to a great start. So when you jump on, say hello, let me know you're here. I always enjoy being with you on Friday afternoons. I'll give everyone just a couple of minutes to catch up with me. I was in a work meeting until 1, so I'm a couple minutes late. So hopefully if you checked in and I wasn't here, you've come back. But this is what we're going to make today. Are these not adorable? So these cards are made with the very cute Just My Type stamp set. I love this. There are no coordinating dies or punches specifically to this to create a bundle, but it's just the cutest stamp set ever. And we're going to create 2 projects so that you can get a little sense of some of the fun you can have with it. So before we get started, I am going to, I do have a couple of things to share. So let's just give everyone a minute to find us here, okay? All right, so when you jump on again, remember to say hello and let me know you're here so that I know who's joining me since I can't see your smiling faces. But I think we'll get started with our announcements so that we can dive right into our stamping. So with 2 projects today, it should be a little faster. It gets a little trickier with 3. So first things first, if you shopped with me in the month of July, don't forget to redeem your bonus day coupons if you did receive them. So these came to you in the form of an email from Stampin' Up! With a code. And when you shop and check out, it will ask if you have any coupon codes to redeem, and you click on, you can highlight your code right out of your email and paste it into your order, and it'll deduct those coupons for you so that you can enjoy your savings this month. So you have until the end of the month. If you have any questions as to whether or not you should have received coupon codes, just let me know. I'm happy to look that up for you. So Stampin' Up! Is also offering a kit sale this month. So this applies to all of the kits in the kits collection. There are some good ones, and they are up to 30% off. So these make great gifts. They make great projects to keep on hand in case you're in a hurry and need to create a couple of quick cards and don't want to look through your supplies to pull out what you might need to create. You can just take the box, open it up, and everything you need is right inside to make your project, making it really easy. So I just thought I would share with you a couple of the more recent kits. I have shared these before, but this one is called the Blossom Wishes kit. I love the color combination with the wild wheat, calypso coral, and purple. And this makes 2 different cards. They're slimline cards. They're really cute with a fruit theme. And there's no stamping in this kit. So if you want a kit that you can create anywhere without ink, these are them. And it also makes a great gift. So keep a couple of these on hand. They work great for your hair person, your mail person, your bank person, or if you have a friend that gets ill and you want to drop off a little something for them to work on, or surgical recovery or something, these are perfect. You just put a little bow around them with a little note and they'll be thankful to have them. And it even includes the most recent kit that came out, which I absolutely love, and I am going to be featuring this next week because I'm going to be out of town at the Stampin' Up! Leadership meeting in Las Vegas. So I will not be here next week live with you, but I will feature this kit, which is absolutely adorable, and I'm even going to make a couple of alternatives with it so you can see some of the cute things that you can do with the pieces of the kit that are different from the projects that are designed within the kit. So this one is called Festive Tags. It's like $11 and something. I mean, you can't beat it. And it makes all these adorable tags. But if you didn't want, you know, 20 some tags, you could also take some of the pieces and create some adorable cards. And again, this kit does not require stamping, which is great. So join me next week. Don't forget to stop by and see what I have to share with you. Actually, two more things. Don't forget that I have sign-ups going right now for my product shares, because look what's right around the corner. You should be receiving your catalog from me any day. And if you live in the United States and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to send you a catalog. I can't show you the inside right now, but I can show you the cover. And if you would like a catalog and would like to shop with me, please reach out. I would love to send you one. However, if you do join me on Fridays, you know that I offer product shares with every catalog. And so I have my product share sign up going right now. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because there is a dedicated video showing you an up close look at all the products and all the options for my product share. But I will let you know that I have a designer series paper share, which is 1/4 of a pack of each of the new papers. I also have a ribbon and embellishment share, which gives you 1/4 of a spool of all the ribbons and about 1/5 of a pack of all the new embellishments. I have paper samplers, which you may be familiar with, which are resource tools from all the papers. It shows all the patterns, the colors, the order and package information. And I also have something new this time, which I'm calling my Cards and Bases Plus, which gives you some of the pre-printed and scored cards with coordinating envelopes. You have the gift card envelopes, as well as these really cool square treat containers. They could be gift holders as well. So you have several different options. You can order a la carte, or there's some bundles there too. And when you order the bundles, you get free gifts from me as a thank you. So that's always a bonus. So I will put the link to register to reserve yours in the description of this video when we're done. You have until the 31st to reserve your product shares. And then I will prep everything in terms of what I need to order. And when the catalog goes live on September 6th, I order everything. And then I create nice packages and get them shipped off to you. Everything will be shipped by the end of September, because it takes me, you know, I can't order till the 6th. It takes me a while to get it. It takes me a solid week or two to create everything and package it all up and ship it to you. But then you get to enjoy a little of all the goodies in this catalog. Last but not least, if you joined me last week, you saw these adorable projects from the Bird's Eye View stamp set, and these were my free kits for the month. So if you would like to create these projects using the Bird's Eye View stamp set, this is my free class in the mail. You will receive 2 kits for each of these projects to create your cards. Now you will get the paper kits. If your order, all you have to do is place a host code order in my online store using the current host code so that I know you want the kit. You will get 2 each of the kits to make these that will contain all your paper products and your little bits of trim if your order is at least $35. So you'll get to make 6 projects. Now, if you bump your order up so that it's at least 50, I will also include the featured embellishment, which was these super cute festive pearls. There's a 4th color up under here you can't see, but there's 4 different color of pearls that you can use to embellish your projects. And this is also great coming into the holiday season because you've got gold, silver, and then red and green. So they're really useful. And I also showed you how to make some custom embellishments on this project as well. So you have until this coming Wednesday to place your order. I think that's the 23rd, isn't it? Whatever this coming Wednesday is, using this host code with your order of at least 35. When I see this come through, I'll know you want your card class. So I'll put this together and get it off to you when I return from Las Vegas. All right, so now let's jump into our super cute projects that we have to make today. So this Just My Type stamp set is very cute. I love it. I love the type in this font that looks like a little typewriter print. And we're going to make 2 projects featuring some of the adorable stamps that are in there. You can make these any color you would like. I kind of went with colorful themes today. So we're going to start off by making our rainbow card first. So to create this project, oh, I do need to say, for this, for your card kits, you do not get stamped images, but you do get all the die cut and embossed pieces that don't use the stamp or bundle, and you will need your ink, your adhesive, and then your stamps, all right? And if you don't have the bird's eye view stamp set, I should have grabbed it to show you. You can even add that as part of your order to get your free card kits. All right, hi Polly, thanks for jumping on today. Hi Joan. It's nice to have you here with us. So to make this card, you are going to want a basic white card base, and this is cut 4 1/4 by 11. I have it scored at 5 1/2, so it's a standard card base from thick basic white cardstock. Then I have a piece of basic white for the front. And then you will want a piece of basic black for your sentiment. And I did pre-stamp and heat emboss this so you didn't have to listen to the heat gun. And then I will show you how we're going to add that to our card front. All right. So you will want a scrap of basic black, big enough for your card sentiment. And then for ink, we're just using Memento Black and then whatever blends you have on hand that you would like to use. Now, I wanted to make this bright and cheery, so I chose Melon Mambo, Azure Afternoon, Daffodil Delight, and Parakeet Party. But this would be very cute done monochromatic. It would also be very cute done in pastel tones if you didn't want the bright pops of color. So you can use whichever 3 or 4 or more blends, Stampin' Blends that you have on hand. To decorate this up, we're going to use a little bit of the silver cord that I keep mine on this spool here. So you'll want some of the Simply Elegant trim, and we're going to use the silver. And then basic rhinestones. Sometimes there's nothing better than just a little sparkle. And then, of course, this is how your Simply Elegant trim comes. It comes with silver and gold. And then, of course, I chose to heat emboss. So I stamped my sentiment with Versamark ink and used white heat embossing with, and I'll show you how I did that with my heat tool. Okay? All right. So let's get to work here making this cute card. So I chose this little rainbow to sprinkle over the front of the card, but you could use the flowers or this cute little plant and little pot to put it in, or even this little flower, or a combination of all of them. It's super, super cute. So I've put the little rainbow on my block. And then I thought this sentiment just went perfectly where it says, I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows. So I've pulled that sentiment and I have that ready to stamp. So let's start by stamping on our basic white layer. And I just have a little bit of scrap paper here underneath so that I don't get my work surface dirty, because I'm going to bring these little rainbows right off the edge of my card here. So I'm just going to randomly stamp. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can stamp as many or as few rainbows as you want on your card. I'm offsetting them, but you could also do some cool geometric patterns, and we talked a little bit about that last week and decided that maybe I should do a card class one of these weeks making geometric patterns with some of the stamps that are included in our different stamp sets to help you look at your stamps in a little different way. That would be fun. We'll do that. All right. So after I have these little rainbows stamped, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. And this is where your Stampin' Blends will come in. Now, since these are small little spaces, I chose not to do any shading, but you could certainly choose to make it fancy and do some shading if you wanted. And you could do the rainbow in whatever order you wanted. I did pink, green, and blue. I guess I didn't use yellow. I was going to and didn't. But maybe this time I'll do these 3 colors and I'll mix it up a little bit. Let's do that, just for something a little different. That would be fun. So I'm going to use the bullet tip. Now there are 2 ends on each Stampin' Blend. There's a brush end and a bullet end. Which one you use is absolutely personal preference. There's no right or wrong. It's only what you like. So I'm just going to color these in. And again, you could use this top one is a little bigger, so I could probably use my brush end and it might be a little faster. So I'm just going to go and color all my rainbows. So my house is so nice and quiet today. Today was the day that all my children are back in school. It's a little bittersweet. So my oldest, this is the first day of his senior year. So we have all that again this year. It's my number 2 to have his or her senior year. Hi Melissa, welcome. So I had 2 that went to school yesterday. And then the seniors didn't have to report yesterday, so the house is so quiet. And I feel like I've already had a productive day. It can be really hard to get work done when the house is full of people during the day. I have learned that, but I've not learned how to effectively get things done. When all day long they need you. They shouldn't need you when they're that old, right? But they do. All right. So after I have colored all these little rainbow sections in, we're going to work on our little sentiment, and I'll show you what I did there just to mix it up a little bit. Now it's even cute just like that and leaving a section white. So when I say that you could really do any color combination you wanted, you really can. You can really do absolutely any color combination that you would like to make your rainbow. Purple would be cute on here as well. Blue and yellow would be adorable. Pink and green. It would even be cute to put some of the little punched clouds from our little cloud punch on here. That would be super cute. There we go. So now we have all of our rainbows colored. So nothing fancy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Somehow all my adhesive got moved into the other room. Every now and then when I clean up after a live, I'm a little too thorough and wind up taking everything that I need off my space here, and I bring it back into my room, and I don't catch that I'm doing that. But fortunately we have dimensionals. All right, so I'm just going to put this in the center on my card front and hopefully straight, so it'll look something like this. All right, so now let's work on our sentiment. So I have a piece of basic black cardstock, and this is just big enough to fit whatever sentiment that you would like. So whatever scrap you have is just fine. And then I stamped my sentiment, and again I have the I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbow sentiment out of the stamp set here. I stamped it in Versamark ink, which is my favorite ink when I do heat embossing. And I love heat embossing white on black, especially. I think it really adds a fun kind of modern flair and gives you that nice contrast to help your sentiments stand out on your projects. But of course, there's always gold and silver too, which is phenomenal. So I inked it and I stamped it in Versamark, and then I used my white embossing powder out of my embossing powder basics set, and I added it to my stamped sentiment. Sprinkled it on there and made sure it was all covered really well. And then, of course, I used my Embossing Editions tray when I did sprinkle it, which these are awesome because then you can take the bottom off and you can dump all your excess powder back into your little container. Now, the embossing powder comes in little round containers. I keep mine in these. I just find it a little easier to work with because of how much embossing I do. And then I used my heat tool and heated the embossing powder so that it melted, and here we have our stamped sentiment. Okay, so that's how I did it. So heat embossing is really fun. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend getting a heat tool and a Versamark and some embossing powder. The basic set is always great because it gives you black and white, and you can and clear, and then you can do some heat embossing on your projects. It was probably the first technique I did when I had started stamping. The very first time I stamped, I threw away the card a couple of years ago, and I just have regretted it every day since, because it would have been so fun to be able to show you the first card I made. It was embarrassing. It was black and white, and it had a big flower just stamped in the middle in yellow, and then a black sentiment just kind of stamped on there with black leaves on a yellow flower. That's my first card. and it was on yellow cardstock. So, and then we did heat embossing at that same class that first time I stamped, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this all the time. It was just really fun. So after I've stamped this, I'm going to take this and now cut these words apart to create all kinds of little words. Now you could put this on your project like this. You could add it however you wanted. You know, you could stamp your rainbows in a different orientation and add it. But I thought it would be really fun to kind of make this into all kinds of little words and put it on my project. So I'm just going to trim this down as much as I can and then use my snips to cut all these little words apart. Okay, so let's take some scissors, and it's not going to be perfectly straight, and that is just okay. It is kind of the look I'm going for. I'm going to cut these into 3 different strips of words, and then you can trim these down however you want. And I think I separated most of these, so I'm just going to do that. And as I trim them down, I'm just trimming the cardstock close to the words so that it kind of looks like that. This is a nice way to be able to use your sentiments that might be too big for the space that you have where you want your sentiment. But if you cut them apart, you can make them fit. You can also make custom sentiments, meaning you can use just some of the words and not all of them to create your sentiment. So for example, this one, let's see, I hope your day is filled with, I'm going to cut with off. Rainbows and sunshine. Okay, So for example, you might want to say, I hope your day is filled with sunshine or just rainbows. Okay, so you could do different words. All right, so now we have black dimensionals. I don't know if you have ever noticed those in the catalog. And you may say, yeah, I don't really need black dimensionals. But let me tell you, if you are working with dark colored cardstocks, having the dark dimensionals really does help limit being able to see those. So this is page 138 in our current annual catalog, and here are the dimensional choices. So we have regular, which are this size, and we have mini, which is this size, and you know I use a ton of dimensionals. But then we also have black, and the black comes with 2 sheets of the big and 2 sheets of the little, so you get both all in one. And I really like using black dimensionals when I am putting black pieces on, or dark like navy or early espresso, any dark pieces on my projects, because I think it helps where you don't really see that foam showing. I think it just makes a cleaner card. So I want little strips, so I'm just going to cut a strip off the bottom of my sheet of black dimensionals. This happens to be the mini size, and then I'm just going to cut some little pieces. So I want some a little longer and some a little shorter. It doesn't have to be the full length. So maybe I have enough here, we'll see. But then I'm just going to flip these over and put a strip of dimensional on the back, and then this is going to allow me to arrange all my little words exactly how I want them. You might want them wonky and offset, you might want them lined up, you might want them squished close together, or maybe you want them spread apart on your front. So maybe instead of having them clustered like I have them, maybe you want to spread them apart a little more and have some towards the top and some towards the bottom. But cutting your words apart gives you a whole nother element of giving yourself room for creativity with your project. So I need just another little strip here. I have a short one, so I'll just cut that off and do this one. Oh, actually, you know what? I am going to put some of this on the inside, so I don't need some on this. So I'm going to pull it off this one because I'm going to put that inside my card. Forgot about that. And I don't need it on this one. Or this one. So there we go. So these go on the inside of the card so that we have a little sentiment inside, but all of these go on the front. So now let's arrange this. So I hope your day is filled. I haven't peeled the release tape off these yet until I have this arranged how I want it. But this one doesn't have release tape on it, so I have to be a little careful. So I hope your day, I'm going to cut this apart. I hope your day is filled with. So there we go. That's cute. But maybe you want to do up here, I hope your day, and down here, do is filled with, or something like that. It gives you the ability to split this apart however you might want. All right, so this embossing edition set I love because it also comes with the tool. So the embossing edition set, it comes with your little tray and your embossing buddy, which is a little powder sack that you can rub your paper to take the static away. So your powder only sticks on your Versamark ink. It's an essential for heat embossing. And then it also comes with these little reverse tweezers, which I love for helping me place things where I want to place them. So I'm just going to pick that up and take my release tape off and put that there. I hope your day. And you can put these wonky and crooked or straight if you want, but it also lets you get them kind of close together so that you have it exactly how you want it. I hope your day is filled. Okay. I just realized that I forgot to bring my black marker. So I'm going to grab that quickly because I want to show you something with the marker. I just grabbed a new one so that I can leave it in my space. So next time I don't have to worry about it. So here's the Stampin' Right markers. And I know I've talked about these since the annual catalog has come out, but Stampin' Up! Has revamped their Stampin' Right markers, and I'm loving the changes. So we still have a brush end, which is really nice for coloring and for flicking color. Okay. But then we also have a bullet tip end. And it used to be that this was a plastic nib that the ink flowed through, and you had a really fine, it was like a really fine point marker to write with. We now have a felt tip on this, if you can see that. I absolutely love how it writes. It writes so nice and clean. Before it wrote nice, but you would get some skip areas. Now you get no skip areas because you have this felt nib. And it's really, really nice. But what I want to do with this is I want to go dot, dot, dot. Okay. So this is telling me there's more to come, right? And then when we go to the inside, we are going to adhere the sunshine and rainbows. So I'm going to take and first because I want that to be in the middle. And then the sunshine and rainbows can go above and below it. You just want the tiniest bit of adhesive on that so you can get that centered and exactly where you want it. And rainbows. And that's the inside of our card. Okay, so now let's finish this off with some blingy bling bling and shine. So here is my Simply Elegant trim in silver. And again, this comes as a 2-pack with gold and silver in a pack. I love this stuff. I use it a lot. So we're just going to make a little bow with some tails, and I'm going to tuck this up underneath my words just to give it a little extra something on the front here. And I am going to put that up underneath there with my glue dot. So I'll put that knot kind of right on that glue dot and kind of push it down in place. And I'm just going to kind of slide it up underneath. Put that knot right underneath there. It makes it really cute. And then to finish it off, let's add some rhinestones. Now you could do several with things with these rhinestones. You could do some arches. On this card, I just randomly scattered them. I put one little rhinestone on each of the rainbows, or you could put a little cluster kind of around the words. So this time maybe I'll just do a little cluster around the words. I just have little ones left. That's fine. I could put a couple up, whoops, a couple up here. And you can decide which you like better. And here's our super cute, colorful project. So a little different colorway. And this one I clustered the little gems around the sentiment, and this one I placed them on each of the rainbows. So which one do you like better? Do you have a preference? I know there's a delay, so I'll give you a moment to answer if you have a preference to the rhinestones being with the rainbow or with the sentiment. Oh, thanks, Polly. Polly likes them both. It is kind of fun. I love that these rhinestones just work pretty much any place you put them on your project. They just add such a nice touch. So I'm hoping that it doesn't look like the camera's picking these up very nicely. Let me see if I adjust my light a little bit, if that helps. No, because now you have a shadow. Can you see those? There, I think you can see them a little bit now. Where's this up by the words? All right, so project number 2 is this adorable little typewriter. It's always fun to have little notes for friends, and what better way than with a little typewriter to create that little note. So again, we're going to use the Just My Type stamp set, and we're going to use this cute little typewriter and then a little sentiment to put on the project, and then the little heart. So I've put all those on my blocks already so that we have them ready to go. And then I thought it was cute to put "You Hold the Key to My Heart" on the inside of this little project, like little typewriter keys. All right, so let's move these out of the way and talk about what we're going to use to create this card. So for this project, we are going to have a Blackberry Bliss card base, one of my favorite colors, and I hadn't used it in a while, so I thought I am going to use it today, and I am just going to make something pretty with it. So it's such a deep, rich color. It's so pretty. And then I have pulled some designer series paper from the Stargazing designer series paper collection. This is the Stargazing collection. They have these cool like planet and star patterns, but then they also have these really cool, colorful, I guess you could kind of call that a geometric pattern. So this is a nice collection. It's called Stargazing. And this is Berry Bushel, and it goes nicely with the Blackberry Bliss. And then I pre-cut this edge so that it was ready. And I used the Gorgeously Made dies for this. Now this is part of the Gorgeously Made bundle. I absolutely love these paper edges that are in here. You have a torn edge, and then you have this tablet edge, and this is what it looks like. And then it even puts the little perforation there so that it looks like you're going to be able to tear your paper out. And I thought that was so cute. And then you want a piece of a layer of basic white that we're going to use for our stamping, and then a little scrap of basic white big enough for your sentiment so that it fits coming out of the typewriter. And this is 1 1/8 inch wide. And then a little scrap strip of any colored designer series paper for a little pop of color. This happens to be Parakeet Party, and it's from the ever useful 6x6 color assortments, and these are available in all the color families. This one happens to be our 2022 to 2024 in colors that contains Parakeet Party. And I'm using a little bit of Parakeet Party, Granny Apple Green ink, which coordinates with the Parakeet Party so nicely. It's a little darker, but it coordinates perfectly to stamp our message. And then Bubble Bath, as well as Basic Gray ink. And then I also brought in my Blackberry Bliss marker, which we'll use for helping our background, pulling our project together. Then to dress it up a little bit, I'm using the Parakeet Party Metallic trim, which comes in all 5 of these colors, the same colors in this paper pack. I love those. And more of our basic rhinestones. Uh-oh, where'd I put them? They're here somewhere on my table. I think I lost, oh, there they are. They were stuck underneath the dies. And we're going to use these to bling up with our metallic trim. So let's get started. So let's start by doing a little bit of stamping, and then we will assemble our background. So I'm going to stamp the typewriter. I wanted it to be a darker color, but not really, I didn't want the starkness of the black. So I went with the basic gray ink, and I'm just going to ink this up really good because this is a solid stamp, so you want to make sure it's inked really good so you get a nice image. And then I'm going to stamp this typewriter kind of at an angle towards the bottom of my cardstock and just give that ink a couple of extra seconds to transfer so that you get a nice solid filled in typewriter. Then I'm going to use some Bubble Bath, which is one of our new pinks, and I'm going to stamp little hearts in this background coming up off the typewriter. So I'm going to stamp once and then a second time, and it makes it really light. It might be hard to see because it's such a light color that I think you can see that. It's such a light color that it is even hard to see when you're looking at it close up. So I'm just going to randomly stamp these little hearts however you like them is the right way. And when you're happy with that, then you can be done with the Bubble Bath. And then I want this to kind of pull together with the dark color on the background. So I'm going to take my Blackberry Bliss marker, and I'm going to use the the brush tip, not the bullet end, and I'm just going to flick. I'm just putting the tip on the edge of my cap and just flicking it. And the harder, the more pressure you put on it, the more splatter you will get and the bigger the dots will be. This is a nice way, if you put your project together and you look at it and you're like, it's just like the pieces just don't really seem to flow together. I always find that if you pull a color and repeat it in multiple places, it makes that project cohesive and really come together nicely. All right, so now I'm just going to distress the edges of this notebook layer before I put it down on my card front, and I'm just using my fingernail. You could also use the edge of your scissors if you wanted to. You could take the edge of your scissors and distress it. It'll make it a little fuzzy too if you want, whatever you like. And then I'm going to take these little tabs and bend them because when are they ever nice, and right? They're always kind of a little bit of a mess. And then I'm going to put this on. Ooh, look how cool that is. See what I mean? Ooh. Okay, we've got a decision to make. Should I use this side or this side? I wasn't expecting this. Now, when you look at this stargazing paper, would you ever think that it would look so cool on your project like this? No, because you're going to look at this and think, planet paper? I don't want planet paper because I'm not going to stamp with planets. Oh, yes, you are going to stamp with planet paper. Melissa says this side. I agree, Melissa. What a happy accident. All right, so we're going to kind of redistress our paper a little bit and kind of get those pieces to kind of flick, those edges to kind of flick forward. Polly says number 2 as well. Yes, isn't it cool? It's so pretty. All right, so let me put some dimensionals on the back of this layer. All right, and then I'm going to use my take your pick tool. And I'm going to put this on angled. If this messes too much with you and you struggle with not having straight layers, it's really okay to, I'm going to curl this up a little bit, I think, too. It's really okay to make it straight. I'm just rolling that up a little bit. There we go. All right, so maybe I'll distress this one too. I kind of like that distress look. It's paper, right? Paper's not always nice and crisp and flat. So we're just going to add some distressing. Okay, and then I'm going to add this at an angle as well, but I want this little pop of color over here. So I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow down the edge, and I'm using Tombow because I want to be able to move this and get it how I want it. So this is a little hash mark pattern, and I don't necessarily know that I want that straight either. And I don't want it the full length of the paper. So this can just be a little scrap. If you happen to have a little scrap, just pull it out and put it on here for a little bit of, just a little pop of color behind your layer. Maybe I'll do it like this. I want it crooked. And then I'm going to put this on my card front. So all I'm doing is building layers of interest, right? And adding little details so that you don't have to do a lot of fancy things to your card, but there are some really simple things you can do that add a lot of interest to your project. So I'm just trying to bring some of those things in for you. So here is our card base. All right. Now I have this little piece of paper that's going to come out of our typewriter, and I have an idea. We'll see if it kind of works. Kind of come out like that, but I guess it really does look best if it comes out like this. So you have these little things here. So I just cut the paper 1 1/8 inch so that it fit between that, but it could really be any little scrap you would want. Now on this project, I stamped the sentiment just like it is for you, but I thought it would be fun to mix it up a little bit because why not? So I'm going to stamp this as a vertical sentiment. Let's see. 4. And off the edge of my ink pad, I'm just inking part of my stamp. You could also cut your stamp. I know, gasp, right? Gasp. It's okay. I cut my stamps all the time. And when they need to go back together so that you can stamp it the way it's meant to, they go together very nicely. You'd be surprised. And you just kind of nestle them right back together on that block. So I made this a vertical greeting instead of a horizontal greeting. So now we're going to trim this down a little bit, just however you want it. There's no right or wrong here. Just going to make this a little smaller. That sentiment's kind of small, right? All right, so now I want this to kind of be coming up out of my typewriter, so I'm just going to use my bone folder to add a little bit of curve, and then why not make this curl a little bit too. I'm just curling it. You could also use take your pick tool, which works really great, and take the tip of your cardstock and just kind of roll it right around there, and that works really nice too. Okay. So now to give it that shape coming out of your typewriter, I want to adhere this edge down, but I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals. Hey Janet, welcome and happy Friday. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so I'm going to put my dimensionals up a little bit, not on the bottom edge, but on the bottom edge, I'm going to put a little Tombow. And then I can put that right where I want it. And when I'm happy with its placement, I can just push those dimensionals down. And then look what that does to the paper. Isn't that fun? Now, you're probably saying, I know, but I'm just sticking it in an envelope. That's okay. Put it in an envelope. It's just fine. All right, so now let's tie a little bow. Maybe I should have. Yeah, there we go. So this is some of that really cool metallic ribbon. And I like to tie my bows with my ribbon on my roll. So I'm right-handed, and I always keep the roll of ribbon on my right and then cross it over like this. And then that way I don't have to guess how much ribbon I need. I can just tie it right on the spool and trim it when I'm done. So here is this cute little bow. I love the sparkly ribbon. All right. You can kind of turn this a little bit so you can see your little words. You can also take your tails like this and hold your knot and pull down on those tails, and then that will, whoops, I got it caught on my, that will also help that ribbon lay nice. All right, and then last but not least, let's take some of our bling and dress this up. So you can do whatever you want. You could put them on your little note, put them around your hearts, but I thought it was really cute to put them on the typewriter, like the little keys of the typewriter. And you could do as many or as few as you wanted, because when you have a whole pack, you always have a lot. And I like odd numbers, so I'll leave it at that. So there you have it. Look how pretty that paper is. So this is the first one made with the little star pattern on the paper. And this was the back side of that paper. But look, you still get the little glimpse when you roll it. You still get that little pop of that other pattern that shows through. Thanks, Polly. You like that card? It's really cute. You could even heat emboss this little typewriter, and that would be super cute because it would be shiny and raised. It would be so cute. So here's our projects today. 2 adorable projects made with the Just My Type stamp set. Hi, Carol Beth. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by today. We just finished making these 2 adorable cards with the Just My Type stamp set. But you can always come back to the beginning and watch. It will all be here. All right, so that's what I have to share with you today. So again, don't forget, if you want last week's cards, here's last week's cards made with the Bird's Eye View stamp set. You can get this class free when you shop in my online store and make a purchase of at least $35. You'll get your 6 card kits and your PDF, and you can use whatever embellishment you have on hand. However, if your purchase is at least $50, I'm going to add in a full pack of these festive pearls to complete your projects, okay? Make sure you use this host code so that I know you want the card kits. If the host code's not there, I presume you don't want it. Because believe it or not, sometimes people don't want it. Let me know if you need a catalog, the kit sale, and don't forget to reserve your product shares, okay? These are always awesome to have. You've got your paper share, ribbon and embellishment, cards, Bases Cards Plus, and your holiday paper samplers. All right? So thanks, everyone. I will not be here live next week, but stop back because I'm going to have something fun to share with you. It'll be recorded, and I'm also going to be sharing some fun things with you for my adventure at the Stampin' Up! Leadership training in Las Vegas next week. So check in, and I will look forward to seeing you when I'm back. Bye.